Good morning or good afternoon. Here I am recording in a sunny afternoon in Arizona. Today I would like to share with you some important recent findings on the relationship between the gut microbiome and depression. All these based on a systematic review and meta-analysis published just recently in 2026. As many of you know, depression is no longer viewed solely as a disorder of the brain. There is growing recognition that it is intimately connected to the gut-brain axis. An imbalance in the communities of bacteria that live in our intestine can influence mood, inflammation, and mental health more broadly. The slide you are seeing summarizes the key results of a recent and rigorous piece of research. The authors, Anjum and colleagues, published in July 2026, that is just a few days ago, in the journal Nutritional Neuroscience, a systematic review and meta-analysis of 27 randomized controlled trials. These trials tested the effects of probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics on the symptoms of depression. I wanted to pause here for a moment and emphasize something that it is easy to overlook, yet absolutely central to the value of this work of today. This is not a single clinical study, it is a meta-analysis. A meta-analysis is a statistical method that combines the results of many independent high-quality studies into one overall analysis. Instead of looking at the results of one trial, which may be small, limited to a particular population, or influenced by chance, a meta-analysis pulls data from multiple trials. This gives the findings much greater statistical power, greater reliability, and greater generalizability, so they can be generalized, than any individual study can provide on its own. In other words, when a single trial reports a positive result, we must always ask, is this finding robust, or could it be a false positive? However, when a well-conducted meta-analysis of 27 randomized controlled trials reaches a consistent conclusion, the level of evidence is substantially higher. That is why the scientific community generally regards a high-quality meta-analysis as a stronger evidence than any single paper, no matter how well that single paper is designed. So, what did this meta-analysis actually find? The clearest signal concerned probiotics. When probiotics were taken for longer than 12 weeks, there was a meaningful improvement in the symptoms of depression. In contrast, shorter courses, those lasting less than 12 weeks, did not produce clear benefits. The duration effect is important. It suggests that supporting the gut microbiome is not a quick fix. Consistent, longer-term intervention appears necessary to observe clinically relevant changes in mood. The practical takeaway is straightforward. Supporting a diverse and balanced gut microbiome over time appears to be important for mental wellness. Formulations that deliver a wide range of beneficial microorganisms may be especially useful when used consistently for several months, at least 3. In this context, multi-strain probiotic preparations with a high microbial biodiversity, such as our fermented colostrum and hemp seed matrix known as Bravo, are well positioned as a useful long-term nutritional supports for the gut-brain axis, not only for depression, of course. To summarize, the gut and the brain communicate continuously, and imbalance in gut bacteria can influence mood. A large meta-analysis of 2026 of 27 randomized trials shows that probiotics, when taken for more than 12 weeks, can meaningfully reduce depressive symptoms. And the fact that this conclusion comes from a meta-analysis rather than from any single study gives us greater confidence in the finding. Thank you so much for your attention.